Before we get into the video, I just want to say I probably spent the last 6 hours trying to record audio for this video, only to come to the conclusion I have to redo all of it. I hope you enjoy this footage of grass. This isn't what I would have done with this video, but I felt like I need to get this video out there as soon as possible. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy. Editor, comment out. Goodbye. My name is Comet, and this is the story of my online harasser, but also low-key stalker. I am hopeful that this video will contribute to a conclusion of torment, paranoia, and depression that I have developed over the course of this last year. For all intents and purposes, excuse my pronunciation as I butcher that, the majority of individuals, sites, and companies involved will be going by different names. As I do not want to be held accountable in this video, if anyone decides to go out of their way to uncover identifying information, including the main person involved. Even if a large majority of people viewing this video have an idea of the identity of the person in question, I, once again, do not want to be held accountable for that. If this is the first video you're seeing of mine, I apologize that there aren't similar videos on the rest of my channel. I normally upload snippets of gameplay, artwork, and remixes for my personal entertainment. So, sit back, relax, and grab yourself a snack as we go on this roller coaster. I want to say it all started a year ago, February of 2019. There was a service I frequently used with my boyfriend. We call this service Skipper. This service allowed people to use a virtual browser to watch whatever they wanted in a public or private room. Set up with a chat room and all, it also had a virtual browser controlled by the room's host. One day, I had encountered a bug and went on their community forum. A few days passed, and by this point my issue had been resolved, but others had the same problem. When I returned to the forum, I saw it being flooded with posts about a certain user on this service. This user seemed to be non-existent, as in not really active on the forum or not active at all. We'll call them GR. Allegations of them being a stalker and pedophile just covered my screen as I scrolled through post after post. It wasn't multiple people accusing this GR person, it was a single person repeatedly posting about them. Like any normal person in this position, my initial thoughts were, this isn't the place to have these posts. People usually just come here for simple issues, maybe bugs or trying to host movie nights or whatever. I enjoy helping people, so this sort of got on my personal nerves about this situation. However, this forum was run by a single mod, and the official company behind Skipper. We'll just call him Skipper as well. So, me and a few other members of this community reached out to this sole moderator. My boyfriend and I both became moderators for this forum, and almost immediately and quickly started cleaning up the place for old and new members. All was well, or so we thought. The user who had been flooding the forum was rightfully banned by my hand as soon as I was able to really have permission to do so. They didn't take it lightly, and they began posting that I was silencing them and protecting this accused GR. I didn't care about this drama, and neither did my boyfriend nor the other moderator. We told them to stop, but they kept making alternative accounts to circumvent bans. So the ban hammer kept striking down as we saw fit whenever they posted, since ban evading was a big no-no. This wasn't the type of issue you would want to be covering this forum with. It was an issue that the company should have handled, not the users or volunteers that chose to moderate the forums. As time progressed, the company got quieter and quieter across all social media, and Skipper started breaking. Issues weren't being resolved, and thus more people started heading to the forum for answers. My boyfriend and I were the only ones, after that other moderator left, to start helping people because this company was too incompetent to let their users know what was happening. Eventually, the service completely broke. New users were unable to create accounts, and current users had to make sure they were signed in prior to avoid breaking and to at least continue using the corpse of what remained of Skipper. Of course, the individual who once cried about a supposed pedophile on Skipper came up and again poking their head around with new post, and started preaching how GR was the reason the site was broken, as supposedly the FBI came and seized the site for illegal activity, specifically child exploitation. Admittedly, as someone who went through the numerous posts made by this person, the service had its fair share of twisted communities lurking in the dark corners, much like any other website or service, like how YouTube had Elsagape and how there are maps running wild and rampant on Twitter. But we will get back to this twisted side. But for now, let's get back to the downfall of Skipper. We kept needing to ban this individual, and I will finally give them a name as Pills, because they kinda need them. As they kept claiming over and over how the FBI took down Skipper, in reality they didn't, a former employee of Skipper reached out to me about how Skipper went bankrupt. I took their word as the truth, as they provided me more than enough evidence to prove themselves as a former employee. They even shared an official statement from the company's CEO. Of course, like a good community member, I released this article to the public. The community was grateful for me to sort of bring this to them and give them some sort of answers as to why the company went quiet. However, they were angered and wanted Skipper to return. Even though sharing this article sort of just, how do I put it, put a band-aid on what was left, it wasn't what people wanted. And with that, something greater was to come. With Skipper gone, people were searching for a replacement, and I had this idea to make a sub-community of Skipper to help people find their perfect replacement. This place that I created grew, and people in the community thanked me for it. One of the many companies after the death of Skipper was Coyote. Ironically, they were the ones that bought the assets to Skipper and were claiming to live up to Skipper's legacy. Soon, they would contact my boyfriend and I, much like the following companies that came afterwards. With all these companies and services reaching out to my boyfriend and I, we had our hands in many places. Although we vowed to never, ever solely promote one service over another, we gave people options. to find their next skipper. However, Pills didn't like that. Pills didn't like that we were helping people. Pills believed we were still tied to Skipper, despite never formally working for them, or even understanding the full picture at the time as to what Pills was going on about. Who was Pills, though? I've been dealing with them for months now, and I've spoken to them privately on numerous occasions. And during these occasions and stumbling across their posts, I would look them up and go through pages and pages of Google results and sites relating to them, whether that was Facebook post or even blog post by themselves. It's safe to say I believe that I put together a comprehensive history on how it got to this point of involving me, GR, and anyone else that came to be involved. As it stands today, Pills is a 30-plus-year-old individual with a complicated history that predates my involvement and GR's involvement. Digging through information Pills has posted about themselves and my own research, I want to say it is very possible that Pills went through some traumatic events in their life, such as, but not limited to, death of family members, kidnapping, isolation, and other situations that aren't so clear to me. I've speculated that these traumatic events caused Pills to take interest in drugs, music, poetry to cope with these moments in their life. However, I believe that Pills turned to online chat rooms to fill a void somewhere in their heart. One of these online chat rooms we'll call Little Room, which seems to be the start of this harassment behavior coming from Pills toward seemingly innocent individuals. The self-posts provided by Pills on the forums across several months referring to Little Room and a now deleted or unavailable YouTube video made by Pills paints a picture that there was an incident that happened where another user in Little Rooms possibly reverse searched Pills' online alias and found Pills to be an internet model, to say the least. Pills caught out this user and promptly left this online hangout after accusing this one individual of stalking them and harassing them. Of course, I don't entirely know if this is accurate or not, just what I know from seeing the post and remembering the video that Pills had made on their channel. However, not long after this incident, Pills found their way onto Skipper, and admittedly so, this is the hardest time I have painting the exact timeline of what happened on Skipper. Thankfully, I did speak to some individuals who were there and witnessed things go down, although they have seemed to disappear for now. At least I can no longer contact them. I do remember the conversations we had in a call once about what happened. Do not take everything I say as the truth, but roughly an accurate description of what may have happened. The story goes like this. GR and Pills had a mutual friend on Skipper. Pills took a liking to GR and one day followed GR into a public room. Pills notices that there are individuals under 18 in this room. GR happened to be the host and was streaming a show. I won't name the show as it may expose some information, but it's a well-known show. Regardless, Pills didn't like the fact that GR was this grown adult and had these minors coming and going out of this room, even though it was public. So Pills started to go off on GR, and GR was a little bit of a troll and decided it would be a good idea to sort of look into Pills, because Pills started going off about one of the individuals in Little Room, saying how they were connected, when in reality they were very far apart and not really connected at all, except for the fact that Pills was involved in both incidents. So GR looked up Pills' alias, much like what happened in the Little Room incident, and Pills sort of lost their mind over it and started accusing GR of being a pedophile and doing all these horrendous things. GR wasn't having any of it and kept banning and removing Pills from their room. Pills took it another step forward and escalated the situation into a bigger situation by creating alternate accounts and posing as children, probably below the age of 13, and friending GR and several other people to make it seem like they were an actual profile. However, some of the people that Pills friended were actually pedophiles, and based on the screenshots Pills has posted over a couple months, you could see that Pills has full control over these fake minor accounts. Of course, Pills coming to be friends with some actual pedophiles dared to presume GR and these individuals were related because they were both on Skipper. And frankly, Pills started emailing the CEO of Skipper, which Pills likes to post about quite often. However, after Skipper was closed and shut down, not by the FBI, once again, the individuals I have spoken to about this situation have told me GR was always accepting friend requests. However, anyone that seemed to be Pills would be immediately blocked and banned from contacting them. And I don't blame him. I'm sure I would have done the same thing if I had the chance to. GR, I don't know what happened to GR, although I have heard that GR has moved on and no longer wants to be a part of any of this, as I have tried to get in contact with them to really understand the story, but there ultimately unreachable at this point. Let's bring it back though. From the very first ban that was against pills, they were basically out for blood towards anyone and everyone, especially me and a couple others that will not be named. At first, pills started posted my profile repeatedly, linking to it and linking to my social media profiles. And then pills started commenting wherever I did. Whatever post I commented on would surely eventually have pill comment right after, or even reply to my own. There were points I would DM pills, hoping they would stop and pleading with them that I wanted them to stop and that I wish this would all end. And they wanted peace too, but they wanted me to admit to being a pedophile, which at the time I was 18 and I have no interest in this, and it makes me honestly disturbed that this would be such an easy presumption of someone when you don't even know online. But with that in my head, on July 22nd, 2019, I decided to ask pills what proof was there that I was this monster to them. I didn't understand, and I wanted to know from their perspective what they saw of me. Because at this point, Pills has directed all these accusations towards me and others like my boyfriend and such. The screenshots Pills first sent me were simple. They were trolls posting memes about pills in one of the public rooms with GR in them. These memes were distasteful and not anything of actual substance. I can only describe them as dark humor implying school shooting and doing erotic acts towards Pill's deceased family members. However, a few moments later, Pill sent me a single link, and this link contained 3 images that Pill had as evidence. And these images, they weren't public rooms, they weren't anything involving GR. It was a profile of a man, someone I've never seen in any of the posts that Pills has posted prior. Nothing I knew that existed, and I could only describe this so lightly on YouTube that it was this disturbing father abusing an infant, although it wasn't as explicit as I would think. It wasn't abuse. The child seemed unaware of what was happening. No pain, just in awe, not knowing what was around it. Of course, I promptly deleted the conversation out of fear and mental scarring of what I viewed. I remember crawling into bed and shaking and crying for hours of what my eyes were a victim to. I couldn't look at myself knowing what I just seen and start to tell people and ask for help, and I had no direction on what to do, and I honestly regret not speaking to someone like my parents at the time about what I saw. This was probably the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. And in that same year, I had gotten robbed of $200 on my way to school. I've had other instances in my life that I thought were the worst, like my heart being broken in some petty old relationship, or family dying, or even my dog getting kidnapped not too long before getting involved in all this. However, this one instance, this one moment, this one fraction of a minute shattered my life and views completely. Even with all the posts harassing and targeting me and sending hate my way, it was nothing compared to what pills did to me that moment. Some would say I asked to see this, but I didn't expect that. I couldn't have expected that. Even now as I record this, I don't know what to say about this moment, besides fear and me living something I would consider traumatic in my life. Even deleting the conversation, I was still bombarded with accusations and pills following my online presence even more than before, as much as I had tried to distance myself. Of course, others found themselves wrapped up in this messy web crafted by pills, and I had realized that no matter how much I tried to separate myself from every post, every problem, every issue that pills had, it just kept leading back to Skipper. And since Skipper was gone, and I have decided to take the mantle of what Skipper was as a community, I was the next best target for pills. And sometimes I ask myself if I regret it, and honestly, I don't, despite being exposed to such horrendous things. Like I said before about creating this community, I wanted to help people. I enjoyed helping people, even if that meant me being a punching bag and being exposed to the worst things I've ever seen in my life. I would gladly take hits if it meant more innocent people weren't exposed to things like that. As much as I try to be strong, I am emotionally fragile. I would be lying if I said that the things I've tried to endure didn't push me to the very edge of considering if my life was worth it or not. Of course, this didn't matter to pills. There were more posts about me, about people I knew, about companies, about strangers. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. At one point, pills faked their own death, saying that they hanged themselves, that there was a suicide note and all. And at that time, alternate accounts made by pills undoubtedly started saying that pills shouldn't be the one dead, that you, Comet, should be the one dead. And that was the first and last time pills has ever done anything like that. And that shook me more. Things just kept stacking on top of me more and more things. I kept trying to understand why me is what I asked myself, but then again I saw so many people that listened to my advice to not talk to pills at all. And that made me happy. Knowing that so many people I was helping indirectly and directly was actually working. And I was just trying to bring whatever justice I could, even though I had no resources to help me or money to aid me in any legal battle if one never came my way, which pills often threatened about suing me. Of course, nothing ever came out of that. Luckily, I honestly don't think I would have won. There were times pills would impersonate me, really, and follow me into other online communities on different websites. There was even a moment that, while impersonating me, they messaged my boyfriend. Luckily, being with him for 7 years, he's come to know how I type and knows there are certain behavior traits that I don't carry that pills does. But it scared me knowing that pills would so easily copy me and steal my images. And I know pills has impersonated actual companies, but a person that wasn't one of their family members, but a complete stranger, basically, frightened me. Sometimes I started to question what profiles I was interacting with online, unsure if it was pills or actually a genuine human being that had a good heart and soul. Of course, these instances caused me to stop pursuing my ambitions as an art and creating an online business that I so hoped to do, and started working on developing prior to being involved with Skipper and Pills and GR and everyone else. But that all came crashing down, and my life was spiraling out of control. When I mean out of control, I mean completely losing all motivation to do anything in life. My grades in college plummeted, and I found myself making the hard decision to drop out of school to focus on my mental health. All because of this one individual that I had the unfortunate pleasure of getting myself wrapped up in. And with that, I want to fast forward to more recently, 2020, with the coronavirus outbreak and everyone self-quarantining and stuck in their homes. I returned to see posts being made. However, they weren't of me, but they were YouTubers I have idolized for years. People that have helped me get through dark times in the past. People I would laugh and watch with my boyfriend on Skipper with. They were enjoyable moments, and here they were getting harassed by the same person I've been harassed by for a year now, and it broke my heart. It really did. Of course, I still led this community that I had created months prior. There are still people there, people still supporting me. I'm grateful for them. However, they never knew the story, at least not the full one, and these YouTubers getting involved now, they would preach to their followers about how this individual was interrupting their life, and I couldn't help but stand by and watch until I really got contacted by some of these people, and I started to tell them things that have happened to me, and I'm grateful that they listened to me. However, I do know that some of them may be planning to make a video soon about this individual. Whether they're censoring them or not is not my problem, but if they were to include me, I would wish to not be censored. So, one after another, YouTubers kept getting targeted as pills kept jumping from person to person to accuse of the same things I've been accused of. And sometimes being targeted more personally, since YouTubers have they have much more information available about them online than some nobody like me. However, at long last, I had thought that maybe with them they would help cut me free from this web that I've been stuck in for months now. However, each day that I see a new person get involved in this web, I decided to not just sit around and wait for one of these people to have a much louder voice and reach than I do. So I took it upon myself to make this video and to at least record my thoughts and information I have on this. Of course, there's a lot more smaller incidents that I could have included involving the other companies besides Coyote and Skipper. However, I don't think they're all too relevant, as some of these incidents have been over the course of a couple weeks, a month, and so forth. Some aren't as big as they are now, some were bigger back then in comparison to now if you try looking into this whole situation. I guess when it comes down to it, I wanted to put my voice out there, my actual voice, about my whole position in all this and where I stood and how I've been involved through so much and what I found. A lot of the information I know can no longer be obtained, as I've either lost the screenshots and evidence to cover myself, unfortunately, but there are some people that are nice enough to sort of help me out and recover some of the things that support everything I say, although I won't be sharing them in this video. More or less, I haven't shared anything like that. I will say that I will probably do a follow-up video to this one that hopefully will conclude I think will actually have a satisfying conclusion to all of this, as currently I'm still being targeted and more people are still being targeted by pills. That by the time I do make a second one, things will have settled down, and I can only hope for the best outcome for myself and everyone else that has been harassed, stalked, and whatnot. Until next time, the last thing I could ask is for you to share this video. I don't really know how YouTube works as likes and subscribers go, but I know that sharing videos is the easiest way to get information out there, and posting. I'm not cut out to be a YouTuber. However, what I am cut out to be is doing something that I love, and something that has helped me get through all this has been art. And if you like art and if you like games, I post a lot of that on my Twitter and Instagram. However, given this whole situation, I've been a bit more quieter now. However, finally getting this video out there, and we can go back to posting stuff. So, yeah, thank you for being here for these past 41 minutes. Holy crap. And farewell. Have a nice day. I'm sure by the time I upload this it'll be the morning, but whenever you do watch this, I hope you're having a wonderful day and living your happiest life. Goodbye. Hello, if you are still watching up to this point, then you probably watched the whole thing. And I would like to say here and in the description that if my voice seems a bit quiet at times, it's because talking about certain issues that I faced are not easy to talk about in a very small household that everyone can hear me in. And talking about these issues is very hard when people can listen through these thin walls, which I do not want. With that being said, once again, I hope that you are living your best life and you stay healthy, stay safe, as right now, as I post this, we're going through a pandemic. And now that I finally finished editing this video, at least the audio, I don't plan on doing anything else. I'm going to go to bed after posting this. Please, 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 live your best life.